Go live.
You're just shouting at it to go live?
I'm commanding it.
You're willing it.
It still says Masked Mongoloid, goddammit.
I told you.
Is this going to be the hang up? The only reason why we can't do it is because I can't change my thing. Let me see. Let me have a look over here. It says Heavy Metal Kid on mine.
Okay.
All right.
Are we not breaking kayfabe on here? Where are we broadcasting to the Curse Earth Radio YouTube channel?
We are broadcasting to the completely unwatched Cursed Earth Radio YouTube channel.
I'm going to put that on our Facebook page right now.
All right. It looks to me like we're live right now.
It's like playing your first show.
At least your name's right.
No, it's
God
not.
Damn it.
Live right now. On the... As everybody listens to me talk.
Hey, there's one person watching, but I think it's me.
Okay, ready? I guess. Fucking whatever.
I mean, I guess we're ready, even though my name is wrong. All right, let's just do this and pretend that we're live. What's up, Dark Judges, Desperados, and dudes in dick-shaped helmets? You're listening to Cursed Earth Radio Live. That's right, Weekly Dread happening now. Zero intro music because we didn't think that through and didn't think anything through.
Just barreled into this like an awkward sexual encounter at summer camp. Here we are.
You know, sometimes you just got to get it. So where are we broadcasting from, Johnny?
Across the Black Atlantic in North America. I don't know. I don't remember that intro. We don't fucking use it anymore. We're doing Prog 2255 this week, I guess. Fucking live. So we've got Hag Reflex, which is unlike HMK, who doesn't have a gag reflex. Pay $20 on our Lonely Fans to find out about that. The Diabolics wrap up. Arrivederci Roma. Pandora Perfect solves the mystery of the sentient sausage moon. Scarlet Traces, and there's a baby, and I'm confused. And a bald man wants to do sex with Sid in the Out.
What an action-packed prog we had this week. And as I say that, my really only concern is the fact that we're live and my name is broadcasting as Masked Mongoloid number 1. I don't know what's happening. But
you know what's happening? I know what's happening. Your random assortment of split personalities have finally leached into the technological world, and it can't make up its fucking mind.
It's true. It's like the movie Split. But hey, for lack of a better and more accurate name, this is Heavy Metal Kid, also known as Masked Mongoloid 1, apparently.
Okay. Cool, Johnny. Cool. Are we recording this travesty?
I guess so. We've got somebody right now. Nick DQC says we're coming through loud and clear. Douglas Morris says, "What's up, guys?"
We're very sorry. This is a mess.
Hey, no, look.
Cursed Earth Radio.
We went live for the first time ever, Johnny. This is Prog 2255. We have not put an episode up on YouTube since Prog 2205, and yet we have 2 people in the chat right now.
They're probably
I don't know if this is what we're going to do from now on, but it's what we're doing today. And then we will also post this where all good progs are posted as well.
Also, Cursed Earth Radio episodes.
Yes. But first, to do that, I have to hit the record button.
So none of the shit we just did was recorded.
Nope. But hey, the 2 people in the chat will
are lost and desperate for attention. I can't see the chat on my end. This is a shit show. That's another show.
Everybody, so Bill Johnson says, why is Cool Johnny Cool's penis so small? He wants to know.
I want to talk about your lack of a gag reflex and why you're so popular in the men's bathrooms.
Hey, instead of that, let's talk about this week's exciting prog.
Wait.
22.
Wait. This is our podcast, our episode, right? We don't just talk about the Prog right off the bat, do we?
That's true. I was actually just trying
Fucking-
to avoid us talking about my gag reflex, really.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
How you been? I haven't seen you a bunch in the last week or so.
Yeah, right. We did get to spend Halloween together, which was pretty exciting. Although I don't think you saw me play, and I didn't see you play. So
No, not true. Not true at all. I always see you play on those shows. You fucking disappear during my sets every time.
To be fair, though, when I disappear, I'm doing probably a wardrobe change to the level that even Janet Jackson at that one famous Super Bowl where her breast fell out. Can I say titty? Do I have to say, is breast worse than titty on live television?
I don't know. It's not like we edit the podcast anyway.
Will the FCC come after me since we're live on YouTube? I'm sure they're demonetizing our non-monetized podcast as we speak.
No, we're not making money.
No, but we had a fantastic Halloween. It was one of the busiest
we did
weekends in a long time. Our two bands, which I guess we've just broken kayfabe now. Yeah, our three bands have been doing an annual Halloween show every year, and this year we had the best turnout we've ever had. Right?
We certainly did. I ran the fog machines for your band. I don't know if you realized that or not. I was the one shooting off the fog and making you look cooler than you should.
Oh, I had no idea. I figured if anyone would have been shooting off during that show, probably would have been you, though.
Well, George gave me the remote, and with my Cobra Commander costume, it looked like I was trying to blow up the world, which I fucking loved.
So you just ended up with a nice accessory.
I did. I managed also not to try to do the Chris Latta voice too much that night before I played. So,
that's dangerous if you're trying to sing.
I was, because a couple people wanted me to do the voice before we went up, and I was like, I fucking can't, because I got to sing a whole set, and if I start doing that, I'm done.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think I even mentioned that to you. I said, I was like, "Where's the voice?" And you were like, "It's not happening."
No, hard no.
No, I had played the day before. I played two separate shows, and then that day I played those two shows, and I didn't manage not to lose my voice. And I don't know what the magic combination was.
The lack of the gag reflex, I'm pretty sure.
I guess so. I mean, maybe the problem is that previously I literally just swallowed the whole mic,
Well, and now with that mask, both masks you were wearing, it was nigh impossible.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Although, I like to think that maybe it's just that somehow I've gotten healthier over the COVID lockdown, but I know that's not true because I've seen myself.
I got to say this. The Fiend was showing an awful lot of skin on stage Saturday night.
Yeah, he was. It was uncomfortable for all involved, and I think that's going to be the plan going forward.
Is just to make everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I do have to ask this, since I didn't get the narrative. I couldn't really hear anything you were saying on stage because I was back by the stage door, away from the monitors, so it all just came out as mumbles. Is Lucio dead for good?
He's dead for good.
Okay. My favorite part of your final set was the disappointment I could see in what was available of your face every time you tried to move, and Lucio was laying on the microphone cable, and it just pinned you to the front of the stage, and the shrug of disappointment that you were unable to go rock out.
Yeah. For those not in the know, the one of the bands that played in this weekend, we have a werewolf. Had a werewolf. Long story. And the werewolf was like the Flava Flav character. So he doesn't sing, he doesn't play an instrument, but he comes out and he hypes the place up, and he's all over the place, and he's in the audience. And before this whole thing started, because this is how we run things, I brought him upstairs and I said, "Hey, here's, you're dying for good tonight. Here's how it's going to work." Obviously coming back as something else at some point, but here's how it's going to work. And I said, and there's going to come a part in the scene. People who don't know about our bands are like, what the fuck are they talking about? But it's out. The cat's out of the bag now. Jason's Renfield's Ghost Road. There you go. No kayfabe. Kayfabe doesn't exist anymore.
No, did we just kill kayfabe?
I think we did.
Yeah,
but I told him, then. I said, when you die, make sure it's super dramatic, and make sure you die somewhere off to the side, because you're going to have to live there for the rest of the set. That's like, we're talking half a set, like 8 songs or something. And well, he died right in the center stage where I normally stand to sing. So I had to deal with navigating a dead werewolf all night.
I'm not going to miss Lucio because he almost made me shit my pants at a show. Thanks to you. That was great. Asshole.
Now, if you want to finish that story for our listeners, maybe it's it's up to you if you just want to throw out I almost shit my pants story and leave, but
I mean, I could. I had nightmare stomach flu all week at Ghost Road, and the Renfields had a show at the end of the week, and my esteemed co-host decided that I was going to be the one to throw down with the werewolf at that show after calling me Nosferatu. And doing the 2-minute enter that guy leaves, pointing at me because we're such good friends, sicking the werewolf on me who has no off switch. And I had spent the entire fucking day trying not to eat anything so I wouldn't shit my pants at the show while still fighting the stomach flu. And what does my good friend do but sick the over-enthusiastic werewolf on me, who proceeds to pounce on me. And my God, it was an hour and change from home, and I'm just glad I didn't have to drive home with shit in my pants because of you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm always thankful when I don't have to do that myself. So I certainly understand. But
be in a band, kids. Just go be in a band.
Yeah. Overall, great Halloween weekend, though. Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking great. I want to shout out Mikey Golis, who I didn't realize it was him because it was Halloween and I had a fishbowl on my head and everybody was in costume. But Mikey, great Razor Ramon costume, bud. That was fucking great. I think that was one of the only listeners, because everybody else is across the pond there. Nobody else in this country listens to this podcast.
Oh, no. That's not true. Actually, as a matter of fact, I know for sure that we actually have 2 new U.S. listeners. On
purpose?
Names of shout out to Chelsea and John right now. So 2 people that listen. One is a girl. How's that? Take that, British people.
Wait, there's a girl listening to the podcast.
We have one here in the United States as well.
We did it. So yeah, busy weekend for us. And then we did the shit show Sunday morning. What do you have against Weird Al's Dare to Be Stupid? I really got to ask. I've been thinking about that all week.
I don't like any music that isn't crucial. And Weird Al is the complete opposite of crucial for me.
He is a very strong counterpoint to society.
I feel like Weird Al exists so that people can show him to other people. Like I can never imagine driving around in my vehicle by myself and putting on some Weird Al. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people do it. I have a type now, and I realized this when I picked up a stack of records, and every single one of them had a person holding a candelabra wearing a cape. And I was like, I just bought the same record 10 times. I mean,
for Christmas, you're very easy to shop for. Just get the blackest black record I can get, and you're good to go. I was taken aback of all the things you've said to me. That's the one I was like, why Weird Al? Why?
Yeah, what? It's like the same reason I don't like Ween, and the same reason I don't like.
Now, Mark said that you loved Ween on stage.
Right. Oh my God. Yo, let's talk about the Prog.
Oh, okay. From last week, because we were busy Halloweening. We got Prog 2255. I've already said that. So let's get into it. Final chapter of Judge Dredd the Hard Way. And
fantastic cover by Alex Ronald.
Well, let's get into the Prog. I'm jumping into the Prog. You're talking about the cover. Okay.
Well, I mean, the cover is part of the Prog.
It's on top of the Prog.
It is on top of the Prog. So we should shout that out first. Fantastic cover with Keeper Hag, who we just became familiar with. Apparently, those who've been listening to or have been reading Dread for much longer than us, when this Beastman-like creature graced the cover, they went, "Oh, yes." And we were like, "What is this? What is
She
happening?"
also doesn't have a gag reflex, from what I've heard. And
Hag
she's
don't
also
gag.
she's also not a monkey. Do you want to get angry about that?
No, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with
Okay.
it. We get enough monkey action in
Well,
2000
I'm
AD
just
nowadays.
saying she's very similar to Mossman, and Mossman was not now nor ever has been a monkey, and you got really pissy about that.
Well, my expectations were built up for that when I was a child.
Well, you did
Sorry,
that to
go.
yourself.
Yeah, I mean, go assume that Mossman's not a monkey. I thought Beastman was a goddamn monkey too, but
It's a dog man at best.
oh
Hey,
my.
I guess we should say before we get too far into this that joining us on the shit show last Sunday was Jim Boswell.
Yes, Jim Boswell, Jake Lynch, our friends from 2000 AD, rock stars in our world, normal people in their own worlds. They don't realize how rad they really are, but they've been super cool and have been 100% on board with all of our silly extracurricular activities that we bug them to do on a weekly basis. And yeah, really cool having conversations with them on Cursed Earth Radio, which you can go, I think, and still listen to, posted on our Podomatic page, Spotify, and all that stuff. Our big interview with them. And then, yeah, they joined us on the Sunday Morning Shit Show, which is like a whole other thing. And if you can find it, it's an interesting watch. They actually, I think Jim posted it on his page on social media. And then when Jake did his episode, he did the same thing. So,
And did you notice that Jim is just light speed better than both of us at guitar too? Like he just fucking roasted both of us.
Right, yeah, that's one hell of an entrance.
Come onto the shit show playing I Am the Law and then doing a solo. And I'm like, God damn it, I'm not better at anything.
No.
One time I want to be better at something.
Well, I'm better than who? That's my question. Some people, I always tell people, just to temper our expectations, I always tell people, I'm like, I could beat Michael Jordan at checkers.
I don't think you could. That guy is super competitive. He wouldn't let it happen.
Have you seen his baseball career?
Well, he had to play baseball because he was either that or, go to jail for gambling. So
I didn't know that was part of the story.
Yeah, that's what happened when he.
Wait, what science fiction Escape from him LA sequel are they going? All right, Michael Jordan, you're going to jail for gambling, or you have to play baseball. What judge said that?
Well, Dredd. Oh no, Rico would have said that because he was bending the rules. Yeah, that happened. That's why he played baseball for a year and retired, quote unquote, from the NBA.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm really confused, but I guess I'm going to trust you on this because you are the Cursed Earth Radio fact checker.
Yeah, fucking. Anyway, for a fact we know that Jake the Clegg survived.
Yeah,
on the first page of the Dread story.
Yeah, he was he's sneaking out. He's smart enough to cover his open butt cheeks that he's been running around with for the entirety of this storyline.
He's burnt up and spicy.
I like that. I think these guys realize they created some pretty cool assassin-ish type characters here, and they need to keep some of them alive. One of which is the sentientoid. And Jake the Clegg also seemed to make it out. I'd love to see Jake the Clegg run into PJ maybe someday.
Well, I mean, they're both still alive, and I'm going to assume that Keeper Hag is also still alive somewhere. Dumbleweed Dumbleweed, dead. I'm gonna hard dead.
Yeah, hard dead. I think the Cenobite girls are probably dead. I wanted a little more from those two, and but I think they were really, I mean, at the end of the day, the least interesting of the assassins probably died off, and all the guys that we loved, Sentientoid being, of course, number one, because we love droids here at Cursed Earth Radio. He survived. I think we're gonna get to see more of these guys in the future.
Oh, definitely. And come the year-end Cursed Earth Radio Awards, I think Sentientoid is a shoo-in for best droid of 2021.
Definitely has a chance, for sure. Right now, I think this ended in a nice little 6 page, round out that it was a great amount of action. It wasn't anything heavy, but at the end of the day, progressed some much larger story arc, just enough that it's still meaningful in the progression of the progs that are happening. But it was like a cool little, I think was Jim or Jake said the reverse Magnificent Seven, right?
Yeah. And you could tell it was Maitland in every panel, right?
I can now, certainly. I can now. Um, you know, it's just about consistency. Before it was like I think we read a good number of Maitland stories in a row by different artists, and like her level of her ethnicity and level of attractiveness just changed with each one. It's like I said, one fucking story, it's goddamn Mia Khalifa. And the next one, you got Girl Next Door, Professor and Marianne, Gilligan's Island shit. So
it's always good to see Jake and Jim working together, and I'm going to assume that the next time we see them together will be around Vexmas this year.
yeah, I hope so, and I hope for us that has become like the team, and these are the people that like I associate those two with one another, and hopefully 2080 starts to realize the benefit of like the superstar writer colorist artists pairings, and we just keep getting I'm because we love Vex so much, we just want that creative team to work on everything forever. But it's nice to have you don't split Batman and Robin up.
Yeah, you do. Bad example. Dredd and Anderson.
They split them up all the time.
Yeah, but they work so well together, and you don't ever want to see Anderson not be there. Robin, you can jump off a fucking building, and
I'm a Robin fan now. Give me a break.
Wow, really?
Hey, Johnny, I just thought I should let you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Douglas Morris says not to mention Hershey, but the problem is now I've seen it and it's becoming a problem because it's bringing back unpleasant memories. But we're gonna let it go.
You almost had a stroke that one time.
Well, that was your fault. At the end of the day,
that was my fault.
Was it Dredd's decision at the end of this thing? Essentially, I mean, people were going to die. The thing was going to flood, but Dredd just kind of pushed it along a little bit.
Well, I mean, Joe does what Joe does. I mean, he's there to carry out the mission. They had saved all they could save, and he and Maitland needed to get on the sub to get the fuck out of town. So if a couple other people got drowned when he shattered the dome, oops.
There's my favorite thing from this, as far as like a nice Maitland moment, was at the end when everybody's all bandaged up and you can see Dredd's got literal band-aids all over his face like Nelly. He's just sitting there and Maitland is like counting, the cost of the whole thing. And he basically says, it doesn't do any good to count the dead like that. And she says, I can only count them. That's all. It's what I do. And I don't know, it was like a nice moment, like I hate to keep harping on Inferno and being, literally one of the worst characterizations of Judge Dredd, written by one of my favorite authors ever, the old Grant Morrison Dredd run. But like, something very similar happened where Dredd just chose to go in and kill all of these inmates by flooding a prison. And
yeah, it
didn't have and not that here we have Dredd expressing remorse by any means, but it really, definitely had, this has some sort of way to address it, where before it was just like, fuck them. And again, maybe, that has to do with the spirit of the time and, Dredd leaning into being a less of a gray area sort of character and just being a full on bastard. When I don't like full on bastard Dredd as much as I like the Dredd that keeps walking that razor's edge.
Well, and they had already evacuated, I think, all they were going to get out of Atlantis here. And it was Dredd and Maitland and maybe a couple more stragglers. So I don't think it was nearly as bad as him drowning all the prisoners at the beginning of Inferno.
Right. Right. No, it's like a whole different scenario. I read this, it reminded me of that a little bit. And I just thought, so glad that we live in the current age of 2000 AD as opposed to living in I mean, we lived then too, but I wasn't reading, and I don't know, man. It was kind of a dark time for like good stories back then, I think. I don't know.
What, the mid 90s?
Yeah. The more we go back and read that
Yeah.
stuff, even the stuff that was kind of popular-ish back then, the stuff that seems to have endured, man, it just doesn't hold a fucking candle to what we've got going on in the progs right now. At least I think. I don't know,
I completely agree. And I've likened it to Maiden, with when Dickinson came back for Brave New World. I think all that stuff is just as good as the 80s output. And much like Dredd, I think this stuff, the modern stuff we've got, is as good, if not better than some of the sacred cows that are held up from the early days.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the place where I would kind of put it for that is like back in the day, it's really hard to, you certainly can't argue that stuff like Cry of the Werewolf looks amazing, or, the Dark Judges and all of that stuff. But the problem is, for me, the story just didn't always equal up to the greatness of the art. And the art's most of the time incredible.
You're still pissed off about the one girder holding up all of Mega City 1.
That is an issue. That is an issue. But now we're at a place where I think they've got the artists that they need, as far as the stuff that you find in the progs is incredible. It's like top tier stuff for most of the stories. But I feel like the stories, the writing in the progs themselves is just a little bit more consistent. It's like they finally managed to shake off all this is just for rebellious youths, and it feels like it's for the intended audience of overweight 30 and 40-year-old men sitting on their couch in their basement.
That's us. Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting in my living room, but it's us.
Right. So the Diabolics, what was cool about this prog is it just felt like everything just kind of had a nice little like wrap up. I know like we got some things returning here in a couple progs, but I don't know. I felt like the sometimes everything feels disjointed, and this one just really kind of had a nice flow to it. So Diabolics had a nice little cliffhanger-ish kind of ending, and only thing we were missing was our little bit of Salvatore action.
He does have a good little moment when Lady Shaman is going back to the Evil Sea, and they're asking her if she retrieved the choir of codices, and she informs them, you sent me to get a book, not children, and the children are safe and will remain so. And there's that little panel of the human priest and Salvatore getting the kids on a plane and sending them off to safety, and Salvatore wiping a tear from his eye because he's happy. He's a good guy. When he's not devouring the bones of saints, he's a really good guy.
I think they really all are. That's the interesting thing. We find that our main protagonist, I guess we can call her, at least in my world, she's the protagonist. She 100% has done horrible atrocities, and they even say she's thrown legions of children into fiery furnaces to worship a dark god. But she's a mom now, and sometimes she got to settle down.
If you look at the Bible, God's really wrathful in that first book, but after he has his kid in the New Testament, he's kind of mellows out.
Oh no, you're right.
He's not like sending plagues and wiping out all of humanity anymore. He's like,
you're right.
I'm really sorry about that.
God went from being the punk rocker at the show that's fighting and getting drunk and passing out to being the dad in Chucks who puts his kid in a Descendants t-shirt and gets her front row tickets to a massive festival.
You know, when I became a father, that was the kind of father I did not want to be. Because I had a lot of friends that said, "Aren't you going to get her a Misfits t-shirt?" And I said, "No." "Why not?" "Because she's one. She don't know nothing about no Misfits. She knows Thomas the Tank Engine. Get out of here, nerd."
Yeah, right. I know. I appreciate that, Johnny. I appreciate that you have shown restraint in that way. As I obviously don't have any kids, and if I
That you
did,
know of.
I would use you as my model role model for a father because your kid turned out pretty damn good.
She is pretty awesome.
She
Anyway,
does not.
Diabolics.
Yeah, I was gonna say she doesn't have an insectoid like head. I still don't understand this guy and his insectoid like head, but
You let him be him.
right, I like it. That's the thing when it comes to the Diabolics. It's cool that we don't need an explanation about why this guy is a praying mantis person. Maybe it's just Larry King.
I mean, he's obviously high up in the hierarchy of the Church of Satan. So I assume he's just going to be weird. It's going to get weirder the closer to the top or the bottom, as it were, since it's the inverse. It's going to get weirder.
All the Satanists that I've ever met, all they do is hail Satan, pet kitties, and drink coffee, and that doesn't cut it for me because I grew up in the days when Satan was evil. God damn it!
Get out of my podcast with your flat crap cult.
Yes.
So we're on the road back to London now, where we left Solomon the last time with his punk rock friend, who was drinking and drugging and whoring his way through London, and leaving a path of broken debauchery behind him. So we're going to get to figure out what the hell's been happening back in London.
Yeah, I look forward to it, man. The Diabolics has kept my interest, and it's just kind of consistently been one of my favorites for quite a while. And for me, it's something I really look forward to. And this is me going into this wanting sci-fi comics always. But man, the Diabolics is fantastic. I love it.
Oh, it's so good. And if Rebellion was looking to make a movie that would be a lower budget movie and still good, man, the Diabolics, they could nail that. It would be so good.
I want the Netflix original series, Diabolics.
They could do that. They could do Defoe with a relatively lower budget, which would be amazing.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Hey, we've got Dak Taylor in the chat right now. Hey, we've got a total of either 3 or 4 people listening to our first live stream in 50. Well, our only live stream ever, but our first broadcast here on YouTube in 50 episodes. So that's exciting.
That's more people that were at my band's first show.
Right.
So we're already doing better than that.
And hey, here's the thing. For all the people that are listening to this on Spotify, it won't make any sense. But hey, you missed out because we're live now, motherfuckers. So
which isn't much different than us being taped. It's just HMK does a cool little remix of weird noises at the end of each episode.
Yeah, and I'll still probably do that for for our listeners who listen on the on the apps. This has been the struggle for us, is that it's very expensive every year to keep ourselves on Podomatic, and we're always like, man, there's got to be a better solution, and maybe it's going live using the Zoom that we pay for. So it's like. We'll see what happens. What happens.
I say we make merch to sell merch to make money to pay for the Podomatic, but we won't sell the merch. So now we'll just have 3 strains of debt to deal with.
I know. Yeah. But God damn it, I really want a Cursed Earth Radio t-shirt like the one you designed. So I
do have to send that graphic to you.
Yes.
I got my laptop on now, so we'll do that after we wrap this, or we could go to the Mystery Moon with Pandora Perfect.
Oh, I love Pandora Perfect. Man, it's one of my favorites. It's climbing the fucking ladder. It's already climbed up over Department K.
Really?
Yeah. Pandora Perfect, and I really liked it, but there's something about this. It hits me exactly where I live. With the art, with the humor. I love that they're not, Pandora Perfect was born in the all ages Prog, but man, that thing was only passing through because at the end of this very episode of Pandora Perfect, they feed a man to a giant sausage planet.
Yes, they do. Well, Bartleby had it coming. He did try to scapegoat Pandora. He stole Gort. He tore the insides out of a sentient sausage-filled moon, and he got the only ending one could deserve for those crimes.
All right. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And I think for me, this was my favorite Pandora Perfect story arc. I thought it was incredibly memorable. I love the Sausage Planet. I'm going to.
That sounds like a Turbo Negro album.
I'm going to contact the art dealer that handles the Brett Parsons stuff and just see. I'm going to say, hey, how much you want for that Sausage Planet?
I thought you were going to say I'm going to contact Paul at the tattoo shop and get a Sausage Planet tattoo on me.
Oh man, I'm not ready for that yet. I haven't committed like I've committed to our favorite lady, Midnight Indicating Shame. But I could think of worse things to have than a Sausage Planet tattooed on my flesh. So,
yeah, I'm still amazed that we got this out of the all ages. I am really surprised that it passed Department K for you, given Department K's Kirby worship.
Yeah, you know what it is, honestly, and I love the Kirby verse, and I love that some wonderful people over at 2000 AD value Jack Kirby's contributions enough to represent him with kind of his own extended universe. And I mean, it's one hell of a tribute. I love the colors, I love the art, but for me, I think the thing I'm always missing with Department K is I still have some trouble remembering characters, who's who does what. And this is just the more simple in so many ways. You only have a couple main characters, and I don't know. I love the art. I've just really from the moment that I saw the little preview and I'll never forget, I said, "Oh, I'm really excited about this." And you went, "Oh yeah, but it's in the all ages Prog," and I was immediately sad.
I do remember that because it was at the beginning of the Thrills of the Future spot there in the Prog.
Yeah. But yeah, this is one of the ones for me that I hope sticks around. And this has a perfect little ending. They end up sort of liberating the Sausage Planet. They get out of the inside of the Sausage Planet by beating up on its little hangy ball shit inside of its mouth. It's what is it, Johnny? What's the technical term for that?
Is that the duodenum?
There, we'll call it that. Yes.
I don't know. Say liberate the Sausage Planet one more time, please.
We're gonna remix it at the end.
Of course.
So they liberate themselves. It expels. I didn't realize Sausage Planet had more than one mouth, but it does. And why wouldn't it?
It is a Sausage Planet.
Yeah, it expels them outside of it. But then, as only I don't think we could let Bartleby live. I mean, and not that they kill him, we don't see him die, but I mean, let's be honest, he's fucking tentacle chow, man. He's done.
Oh, definitely. I did hold out a little hope maybe he would be able to reason his way out of it, and the Sausage Planet would realize that hurting the ones that hurt you doesn't solve anything.
Yeah, right.
But no, Sausage Planet gonna eat him up.
Yeah, it's got a red eye peering at him. Usually, red eye is bad.
Well, and I mean, here, Pandora is not wearing a space helmet when she gets ejected from Sausage Planet. I'm just saying that might feel. I don't know if she can breathe in space, but it's just weird.
Well, she is perfect. She's perfect.
She is, and I'm arguing logic as she's being ejected violently from a Sausage Planet.
Yeah, I think we hold Dread a little bit different standard because it hasn't, with the moon. And speaking of the moon, by the way, in the chat, Douglas Morris says, just a question. Are you going to buy the new 2000 AD encyclopedia? Might explain what happened to the moon. Better explain is more like it.
I want Rob Williams on this podcast to explain the moon. That's what I want for Christmas.
Yeah. Well, if you're in the chat and you're related to Rob Williams, go ahead and bring him in, and we'll do that right now. Otherwise,
we're gonna move on to the next story.
Yeah, but one thing I liked at the end here, again, like every time this almost tiptoes into all ages territory, where you have Pandora and she says, "Oh, I don't know. If you ask me, I got the most important thing of all, something money can't buy." And you're thinking she's going to say friendship and Gort and all of this stuff, but nope. Turns out it's the Wonga diamond, and she's still only very much a self-serving super criminal, and I like it.
I love the fact that she hasn't changed a bit.
Nope, not a bit. So that takes us to Scarlet Traces.
Yeah, I gotta admit this. I kind of fell off on this one, on Scarlet Traces, at least this chapter. I know there was a revelation that their presumed dead Captain Skellern is alive, sort of, but now he's a mixed consciousness. But I kind of fell off on this chapter.
Yeah, he's a mixed consciousness, and then
there's a baby.
I always check out when a baby shows up.
I tried, man. I tried. And I love the fact that this is homage to World of Worlds. And I love Disraeli's art, especially when Disraeli's actually doing the art, not when we're ranting and raving about things he hasn't done the art on. But I've got an attachment from this. I disassociate when I'm reading this for some reason.
Yeah, it's weird. I've kind of been back and forth with this one, and there was definitely an issue of Scarlet Traces where we had a nice, like, very human-y kind of two people connecting moment with our main characters there, and I think that was as close as I've ever been to being like, you know what, this is good, I'm into this, but it's definitely not bad or anything that I dread reading. It is definitely, for me, the one that I remember the least, to look forward to the least. And it's like you said, it's not because of the art, and maybe it's not even because of the story. It's maybe just because not exactly what I connect with in the Prog at this point,
Same. Like I saw it, and there were 3 chapters there that I was really drawn to it, but now we're back to, because I don't have any attachment going into it, and this is playing off events that you and I were not privy to because we weren't reading the Prog at the time. So I have no attachment to these characters. I'm having a hard time keeping their names straight. And so, yeah, when this popped up, I just went, I'll read it, but nothing's going to stick because I'm disassociating while I'm reading it.
Yeah, no, I know. And what strange times are we into the story that comes next, which is The Out. And I know you love this specific episode of The Out, because I loved this specific episode.
Would you like to do some sex at all? If ever there was something to sponsor our podcast, it's sex at all.
Yeah.
There it is right there.
Listen, man. Dan Abnett, we've said it before, like, this guy, when he comes over to 2000 AD and works, and they're like, all right, buddy, you got 6 pages here, best of luck. And he's like, okay, well, I just finished writing 12 chapters of Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, and made them super interesting and engaging and coherent. And Dan Abnett just takes all of that brilliance and packs so much just perfection into anything he writes for 2000 AD. And this little, just perfectly comedic timed, it's so perfect. Yeah, he meets her and he asks if she wants to do some sex.
I've done the sex.
Would you like to do some sex at all? And it just keeps coming back to the point where then finally he goes, would you like to see my cock? And then the next page, it's a
giant rooster.
Giant rooster. I mean, it's
the guy's not seen a human forever, and when a female human pops up, there's no time for, verbal foreplay. You just got to get right because they might just fly off. So you got to shoot your shot while you can shoot it.
Right. And anywhere you can shoot it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's, man, I don't know. It's just really interesting. And we're starting to realize like there's so much more depth to the story here than, what we see, because it's like, every person that she meets, she's trying to connect with other humans, but every other human that she comes into contact with, like there's a reason they sort of left the place that they were, there's a reason they left Earth. And some of them are too fucking weird for Earth. And she meets this weird recluse at the end that is just not interested. She's like, oh, but I came all this way. And they're like, yeah, I came all this way to get away from humans. I don't want anything to do with humans.
And I can kind of ID with that. Like during the lockdown and pandemic, I was fine because I was by myself. I don't go out amongst large throngs of people when there's not a pandemic, So when everybody was bemoaning that during the pandemic, I'm like inside with all my comic books and my video games and my movies, and I'm like, you guys have this is paradise. This is for all of us who are socially awkward and do not want to be around large groups of people, this is our time to shine. So I totally got the guy at the end of this.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I know a lot of people that had the same experience, and so it's cool. It's interesting. It's like she's looking for something to, like sort of connect her back to Earth. And it's not just, that's the message over and over. It's not just like take Earth out of the equation. And it's not about like where people are from, she's connecting with other species as well. And I think it's like she's hanging on to this idea of like people from Earth are different. And maybe that's like the part of the message is like, it's not really about that. Because, people who left Earth left it for a reason, and they didn't really connect with it either. So her trying to find some sort of connection to it with people in the out just doesn't make sense.
And maybe Sid's going to find out through all these interviews and talking to people as to why they left, that finding her way home doesn't really mean anything to her, that she's more comfortable in and of the out.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, I'll tell you one thing about Sid. She's still ugly.
Well, but that one guy wanted to do sex.
He did want to do sex.
Hey, my wife has just rolled her eyes at me.
Oh, because she hears that every night, right?
Well, that's how you say it, right?
Oh, I mean, it worked for you once.
Yes, I have physical proof.
So we have a couple of quotes here from Nick DQC. Is that Nick Dick? I don't know.
It would be listening to this podcast.
It would be. So number one, he says, he wants us to know that the deal with the moon is that it had engines and they just flew it back into orbit. Mystery solved. So we're good on that one.
We know that, but it deserved. The talking horse and burrito got a story resolution.
Wait. Do we know that, or is he? I thought he was just just.
I know that's the assumption that it had giant engines and they move, but the movement of a lunar body like that would affect the tides and certainly the werewolves in the Undercity. So there should have been some in-panel resolution, but no, burrito and the talking horse get a resolution.
Yes. Yeah. We also have. He also wants to know if we've seen Wally Squad miniatures from Warlord Games. Dirty Frank is in the set. We have, and Johnny Cool has been really excited ever since.
I'd be thrilled to play again, considering we did none during the lockdown.
Yeah, we bought real hard into the Judge Dredd miniatures game, and I was picking up everything that I could with the assumption that, hey man, we're hopefully going to do like weekly games.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
If you go back far enough on this channel, there's a large portion of our content on this YouTube channel that is board game related, even going all the way back to the old school Dredd game where we were doing how-to instructional videos. And I really that was going to 100% be a part of this channel. And then COVID happened and we really couldn't even be in the same room together. Now that it's over, it's just, getting to the place where we have time to do that each week. And right now we're just trying to manage to do this each week. However, I'm nervous to say, but I think we're getting close. I think we're getting
Hopefully
there.
the beginning of the year we can get back to it. I know HMK is still in a position where he's not going to work, but work is definitely being done to him.
Oh my God.
He's the
No,
only man to ever have a job
I
ever.
I am the only man that has ever worked, and everyone should feel sorry for me.
Oh,
So speaking of feeling sorry for us, this may be the end of this episode for Prog 2255, but we have one more live stream that we're going to do right after this, right?
well, speaking of that, why don't we keep doing this episode and then you can break them later so we don't lose the 3 listeners that we have now.
I'll tell you why, because this is going to immediately post as Cursed Earth Radio Prog 2255. And if people want to find that all ages prog, they're going to have to, it's going to be buried. So we're going to have to risk, we're going
losing our 3 listeners.
Yes.
All right. Join us shortly, like within minutes, because we'll be back possibly shouting about dicks live.
We will be back with the all ages prog.
Probably shouldn't chat about dicks on the all ages, huh?
Hey, this is Heavy Metal Kid.
This is Cool Johnny Cool, and we've been canceled.
Wiener.
We're still live. Someone there. We're still live though. We're still live.
Stop live stream.